right. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Today I have Terry Bradley, the amazing, talented Terry Bradley with Mile High Cyber. And I know everyone thinks their IT guy is their cybersecurity guy, but Terry can tell you differently. But Terry was an NSA cyber guy doing all sorts of testing and penetration testing, looking for any of the vulnerabilities. Ugh, I can speak. I'm talking too fast. I'm excited. It's fun. Cybersecurity, yay! So tell us more, Terry, about what you do at Mile High Cyber and why more companies probably should be looking into it.
Yeah, well, you mentioned my background. I got my start in this business basically as a result of being an Air Force intelligence officer. My particular specialty was signals intelligence, which, when I got into the field as a young lieutenant, entailed intercepting radio communications, and then transcribing the content of those communications into intelligence reports. It wasn't very long in that field before we began to see a transition from the analog world to the digital world. And
Mhm.
so the world of signals intelligence is now largely focused not on just intercepting radio communications or signals, but actually, you know, harvesting information from computer networks. And so the way you do that is not typically, by asking for a password. It's through finding a vulnerability or a security flaw and actively breaking into that network. And so my work at the National Security Agency was focused primarily on testing the U.S. military's devices, networks, weapon systems to make sure that they were not vulnerable to attack. And I leveraged that information and those skills to work in the defense community for many years. But for about the last 10 years, I've been focused primarily on private sector, nonprofit, state and local government, helping organizations who are at risk on the internet not get hacked and not suffer a really bad outcome like
Mhm.
ransomware or a very expensive data breach.
Yeah, and I assume most people have at least some fear of that. And most time we're told it's just passwords, but that's not the only thing, and that's not the main way people get into their systems, right?
Well, passwords are important, and there's actually a resurgence of password-based attacks because so many other security protections are in place. Everyone's got antivirus these days. Everyone's got EDR, hopefully, endpoint detection and response. So, dropping malicious software on someone's computer is not necessarily a winning strategy. And so, passwords are super important. But it's not just picking a hard password, it's knowing how to protect them. It's also making sure that the right additional protections are in place, like multi factor authentication, not just on your email, but also on your VPN, on those web applications that are customer facing. There's just a whole world of cybersecurity that has taken me a long time to understand and help customers with. And it's not the kind of thing that your IT team is necessarily particularly well versed in.
No.
Deploying the product, setting it up so it works, making sure that it keeps working. That's where the IT professionals of the world live, is deploying products and making sure that they keep running, making sure they're protected against the latest attacks. Maybe not.
Hmm. Okay. Super cool. Lots of information. Tell us a little something about you that we wouldn't find on the website or on your LinkedIn.
I think maybe I live in Colorado,
Hmm.
and Colorado's full of Colorado natives. Less and less I hear all the time.
Yep.
A lot of people from Texas and California who have moved here, but I'm from Indiana, and I don't think that's really anywhere necessarily on LinkedIn or on my website. But I come from the Midwest in Richmond, Indiana, and a fairly small town of 40,000 people, and you know I don't run into a lot of Hoosiers out here in Colorado.
Not too many of them, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a native, so I can't say that either. But very cool. All right. So Terry, a lot of times when we do these calls, we go over differentiation. Actually, every time, really. But so we look at it kind of like a triangle, and the first side is how you feel you actually set yourself apart, your area of expertise, what you're strong in, and how you're really serving your clients. The other side of the triangle is how your clients view you, what they think of you as your strengths, why they decide to work with you. And then at the top, what really brings it together is what your competitors are not doing. And so what's inside this triangle is your differentiation. So you've shared a lot of really good things, but what do you feel like is your biggest strengths, what you provide your clients?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time focusing on process and
Hmm.
systems. Um, Now, if you've read some books like The E-Myth Revisited or Systemology by David Jennings, I really was captured early on in the start of Mile High Cyber with the idea that we need to systematize everything, not
Hmm.
only for growth, but also to make sure that we produce consistent results for our customers. And the amount of time and energy we spend on process and systems in defining, what it is we're doing in a penetration test or in a vulnerability assessment or a vCISO engagement. I feel like that's one of the things that really sets us apart. I've worked in cybersecurity for about 30 years now. Um, More than half of that in companies that provide penetration testing. And by and large, I've never seen that before. Usually, when you hire a company to do a pen test, if they come to your site, they roll up with 5 or 6 people who all plug into your network and start furiously typing on their keyboards. No one knows what anybody else is doing. And certainly the person in charge of the engagement has no idea what's getting done or what the results are until the end. So, we've tried to design our engagements, our processes, our testing procedures to make sure that we do the same things every time, uh,
Hmm.
produce consistent, superior results for our customers. So, from our perspective, that's what we focus on quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I think, I was just talking to a operations person earlier, and yes, 100% having systems in place is going to help your business. And to expand on that, that helps your clients because they can count on your results that you look at every time. You're not going to miss something because it makes someone not look good, right? You are going to look at everything that needs to be looked at. On the other side of the triangle, what are your competitors saying about you? Or sorry, what are your customers saying about you? What do your clients like about working with you?
Well, we've worked a little bit in the past, and so some
Mhm.
of the insights I've gotten on this have been from you talking
Yeah.
to our customers. And one of the things I remember you had told me was that most of our customers were really impressed with how responsive we are.
Mhm.
Um, if they send an email, it's going to get answered. If they make a phone call, we pick it up. And if there's a problem during testing, they can get a hold of us, and we can pause testing or we can explain what's going on. And so our responsiveness is one of those things that really stands out to them. The other thing is that we really try to understand their business.
Mhm.
Um, it's one thing to come in and say, well, this is a vulnerability. I don't care what your business is. You need to fix this. But really trying to understand what the client's priorities are, what makes revenue for them, what allows them to accomplish their mission. Maybe if revenue is not the driver, a nonprofit or a school setting, the profit's not the factor. It's we need to serve our constituency, and so we try to understand the business priorities and then put those security flaws and vulnerabilities in that context.
Mhm. Yeah, and you definitely don't wanna forget that they love how client-centric you are and the fact that you actually can speak to their level of understanding. Because you've thrown out a lot of high-level terms here where not all of our viewers will actually understand that, but you can go in and explain everything to to people like me who do not understand cybersecurity in a way that it makes sense and everyone can understand it. So I love the fact that you can do that and everyone loves that as well. So, and I think that's something maybe I jumped the gun. Maybe that's something you were going to say your competitors are not doing. So tell me, what are your competitors not doing?
Yeah, well, I think the client focus is one of them, but
Mm.
it's more than just that. I mean, I think every company, if they're thoughtful about you know
Yeah.
being successful, is wants to please their customers. But I do think that most of the other companies out there providing pen test services tend to focus more on the product, or the the technical quality of the service.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say that we don't care about those things. We certainly want to use the best tools, and we want to have the most skilled folks doing those testing engagements. But that's not our focus. I mean, we assume that's taken care of. We want to go above and beyond that.
Yeah.
So, whether or not it's the latest and greatest blockchain encryption technology, that's not our focus. We're going to make sure that we're using the best tools for the job, and have skilled and trained people. But we're not focused on that. That's not the differentiator. I think that's just an arms race that you can never win. There's lots of great NSA and CIA and special ops folks out there doing security testing and cybersecurity services. So we're going to compete, not necessarily on having the most elite hackers, but the most helpful hackers.
I love that. The most helpful hackers. New tagline. Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. And, really at the end of the day, it really is how well you're serving your clients. And it isn't just jargon that people won't understand. And it's really helping them where they need to be helped, not what you want to just be doing for them. It's where they need you. So I love it. So, Terry, what else do you want to share? How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I guess one final thought is, you know, one of the things that makes cybersecurity interesting to me as a cybersecurity professional is the constant change and
Hmm.
innovation that's taking place. It's dizzying to try to keep up with what the attackers are doing, and to try to understand all the vulnerabilities that exist out there as new ones are discovered. So, um, there's a lot of advances right now. It seems like the rate of change is just increasing, and it's about to get really fast because of artificial intelligence. And I don't mean that as a buzzword. I know, over the years we have had many buzzwords that everyone wants to latch onto, like cloud and um, all these great new technologies. But I think artificial intelligence, or AI, is going to
Yeah.
greatly change the face of cybersecurity. And so organizations need to be doing everything they can now to leverage leverage what's available, because I think the attack environment is going to get seriously more dangerous in the very near future, if it hasn't already. And so we're keeping an eye on that. And one of the ways you can keep up on that is to subscribe to our newsletter.
Hmm.
It's not AI exclusively focused, but we try to put out information on a not too frequent basis to fill your inbox. But when important advances come out, or new vulnerabilities that we feel our customers really need to know about, we'll send out a blast or a broadcast and let them know about hot new vulnerabilities or new trends we're seeing, just to keep us front in their minds,
Hmm.
and also let them know about things that they need to be addressing in their network environments or in their organizations. And you can sign up for that newsletter by going to our website, milehighcyber.com, and click on the big contact us button. And there's a forum. You can just put, I want to get on your newsletter, or maybe you want to have a call and learn more about cybersecurity, or your organization, how well you're postured to defend against attacks.
Love it. Yes. No, that is fantastic. And I'm sure everyone would love to know a little bit more about how they can protect their most important assets or figure out if they have those vulnerabilities. And that's definitely something you guys can help with, but you guys can always have conversations. And I'm on the newsletter. I have to admit, I do enjoy it. So there's some really good insight, and they're quick, easy to understand reads. So always a good one. So yeah, so thank you for joining, Terry, and sharing a little bit about what you guys do at Mile High Cyber, and talking even a little bit about what's coming down the pipeline and challenges that we all will be facing here soon.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your time today, and look forward to talking to folks who are interested in this. And if you're not interested in this, it's interested in you. So
Yeah.
we think about that.
Yeah, it's not, you can't just hide from it, right? Like it's not just banks where you can get information from people. It's everything. So there's lots of data out there, and you probably have more than you know. So, all right. Well, thank you, Terry, and thank you everyone